What's up, guys? Welcome to the SD Show. I'm joined here with my friend Malik Abdullah, and today we're going to be recording a podcast. We're going to be talking about life, his journeys, his immigration to the United States, his college path, and whatever he's working on right now. So let's start off with your introduction, Malik.
Assalamu alaikum, guys. How you guys doing? My name is Malik Abdullah. 21 years old right now, studying at UIC. Went to school with Salman, and yeah, man, life's good, alhamdulillah. Sab theek thak.
Alhamdulillah. That's good to hear, man. So, basically the way this podcast works, like we ask the guests, sort of general questions. We go through the trajectories of their lives, their journey into the U.S. and everything. So, first things first, right? What are some of the key memories from your childhood? How was your childhood? How was your schooling back in Pakistan and everything?
Bro, Pakistan, man, I don't remember a lot of stuff, man. I was young when I came here to the US.
Right.
So I came when I was 10 years old. But some of the memories is like in Pakistan, going to school in the morning, rickshaw wala come picking you up in the morning.
Right.
And then sitting on the side with the rickshaw wala holding the thing.
Okay.
And then going to tuition afterwards.
Nice.
And yeah, man, the food of Pakistan, when living there was different.
So you were in Lahore, correct?
Lahore, Pakistan,
okay,
yeah.
Okay. What part of Lahore? Was this like old Lahore?
It's called old Lahore. It's towards Muzang, Anarkali area.
Okay.
So yeah, bro. A lot of memories going with my grandpa, going to Anarkali, shopping with my dad. But like I said, I was 10 years old, so not a lot of memories that I still remember.
Right.
But then also, one thing was I lived with my mom in Pakistan. My mom passed away before I came to the US. I was 10 years old. So yeah, all the memories I have of my mom, they're all in Pakistan. Right. So, and she's also buried in Pakistan too.
Nice. So basically, you basically completed elementary education there and middle school as well, or?
Elementary school, and then I completed 4th grade in Pakistan. And when I came to the US, I got into 5th grade immediately.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you guys came directly to Chicago?
No, so we went to... So how we actually came to the US was my daya, my uncle, he won a lottery back in 19-something to come here.
Was it the US lottery?
Yeah. So he won the lottery and he ended up staying here. And then over the years, he got his immigration and he became a citizen, and then he applied for his family members. So he applied for us back in 1995, I believe.
Okay.
And then our return came in 2010, so about 15 years later. So my dad was his first of his siblings to get called to the U.S. That's how we actually came here. So when we came here, we went straight to Virginia.
Okay.
We lived with him for about a year.
There's a Pakistan community right there as well.
Oh,
right?
it's huge. Nice. It was called Sterling, Virginia. That's what the area was called. So I went to 5th grade there, and then we lived with them for about a year, and then we moved to Chicago with my older Thaya, who also lives here.
So you guys did not want to continue living in Chicago, in Virginia, like you guys wanted to live in Chicago?
Bro,
what was the appeal towards Chicago?
Bro, honestly, it's like Desi household also I understand when someone's living with you for a while, tang ho jate hain, bro. They get very tired of you. 100%. They start being iffy with you, and you started noticing their changing in behavior.
Yeah.
So my dad, and then also like some family drama and stuff, man. It was really bad at the time. So my dad was like, the best thing is to come to his older brother who also lives here in Chicago. That was the main motive behind us.
So you guys had family here, basically.
Yeah. So that was the main motive behind coming to Chicago.
Okay, that makes sense. And then when you first came here and stuff, so you started off which elementary school?
I went to, I don't remember the name, but it was CPS, Chicago Public Schools.
Okay. It was. So you guys were living in Chicago, actual downtown.
Yeah. It was Irving Park.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it was surrounding Chicago, but yeah, it was Chicago Public Schools, and I went there for sixth grade. No, 5th grade. I went there for 5th grade. Yeah, because halfway, I didn't complete 5th grade in Virginia, so I ended up finishing it over here.
Okay. That makes sense. So you completed 5th grade there, and then when do you move to the suburbs and stuff?
Bro, that's also another crazy thing, man. So we also were living with my Thaya for about 6 months, and then his family started getting bothered as well because we were living with them. My dad, so my dad was the only one, since we don't have a mother. My dad was the only one running the house, so my dad doesn't speak English, so there's a huge barrier in his language, so he can't really get a job at a local gas station or anything.
Okay.
So luckily my uncle ended up getting him a job over here in Lombard. He used to work at Makkah Mart, man.
No way.
Yeah,
I remember.
He used to work at Makkah Mart, which was about 50 minutes away from the house in Irving Park. So me and my brother would come see my dad twice a week. Once a week on the weekends.
Nice.
So we would stay with him.
So you guys would live there?
Without my dad, just at the uncle's house. Yeah, man.
Okay. How was that?
It was good, man. In the beginning, it was good, but then over time, things started to go downhill with my brother and I, and our aunt, Taya's wife. You know, so
right.
Yeah, man. Been through a lot, bro. A lot of the challenges living with family members, and you truly understand people's true colors once you start to live with them over time. You know. So my dad was having some also issues with his brother's wife. So my dad couldn't come back home. So he was living in the back of Makamart for about a couple months.
Wow, okay.
He was sleeping on the ground. Yeah.
Damn. So wait, he couldn't come back to your
because
his brother's house?
No, bro, because the wife would get mad, and then it's a lot of like other issues that were happening at the time.
So like she was comfortable with you guys living there though, because
she had no choice. I mean, we didn't really have anywhere to go either. That's the thing. So she put up with it, and you know, I appreciated her taking care of us. You know, even though it was hard for her too. But yeah, we lived with her, and then in that summer of before 7th grade, my dad was like, you know, we need to figure something out. So he sent me and my brother to Pakistan for about 3-4 months in summer.
Okay.
And while he was here, he got us a place in Villa Park, or we were living with someone. So he just wanted us to move us out of the uncle's house and have him, you know, so he can work here too.
So you guys had like nearby. A temporary sort of living arrangement here in Villa Park?
Yes. Okay. So once we came back from Pakistan, we ended up living. Since then, we've been here in Lombard, Villa Park area.
Okay. So where was this? Like, was this in Perham Apartments? Or
no, it's over here actually. It's on 14th Street. There was a house. We were living with the Hyderabadi guy. He gave us a room. It was me, my brother, and my dad living in one room.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, sleeping on the floor every single night.
Damn, at least you guys were together now, though.
Yeah, man. Right? It was good, better than, you know, seeing my dad only on the weekends was not it, man.
Right.
It was hard.
So you ended up enrolling at a school right here?
Yeah, I went to Albright Middle School for 6th grade and 7th grade. And then 6th and 7th grade, we were living in the house with the guy, and then we ended up moving to Perham my 8th grade. See, if you come across 14th Street, your county changes. So I couldn't go to Albright no more. So my 8th grade, I had to go to Jackson. So yeah,
that makes sense.
8th grade, I went to Jackson Middle School, and then I graduated from there. Yeah.
Right, that's good to hear, man. So like, obviously, like, you know, growing up with your dad and like, you know, in like these tough circumstances and with like all these challenges and stuff, it must have been like, you know, hard to like sort of have consistent hope, you know, sometimes as well. Like, can you discuss some of the challenges that you faced, you know, throughout those years, and like, you know, if just life, like, you know, felt really hard at times?
Bro, definitely one key factor was not having a mother was definitely hard. Me and my brother were ever since we came to the US, you know, everyone knows once you come here by yourself, you're on your own, man. You have to like 100%. Compared to Pakistan, you know, you have a kamwali that does all your chores and stuff, you know.
Was the dynamic present in Pakistan when you guys were there, like
the kamwali stuff?
Yes.
Oh yeah, we had a kamwali. She used to come do the dishes, clean the house, whatnot, you know. But then when we came here, man, I was 12, my brother was 13 when we lived in Villa Park, man. When we moved here.
So basically, you know, when you were like living in Pakistan and everything, you guys had like a, you know, sort of person, like a maid to help you out and everything.
Yeah.
So you guys had like couple servants, or was there like only one who like took care of all the
No, just one. She would come in the morning and then she would leave at like afternoon, you know. She would just get her stuff and leave.
Yeah, I think like how I remember, like, you know, like maids working in the households and everything, like they would have their set of like, you know, what they needed to do around the house, and like, you know, like it was like it followed like that same routine every single day or every single weekend, where they're like, you know, dusting, or where they're like washing the dishes and like washing laundry. It can go as far as to like, you know, like they just take care of all the duties from like, you know, A to Z, like washing the kitchen and stuff, washing the restrooms and everything, you know, to making your beds and stuff like that.
That's true.
And that brings me to like, you know, this sort of awareness that like having this over dependence of this culture of like, you know, having maids and having servants around your house, does that make like, you know, traditional sort of South Asian sort of men, you know, lazy over time? Or even like, so I mean, like, the reason I say men is because like, you know, with like females and stuff, like, you know, they're expected to like basically get on their feet and like, you know, start learning the house duties and doing them around the house and stuff like that. But especially for dudes and stuff, you know, does that sort of give us an over dependence? Because I remember like the maid would like make my breakfast and everything, dinner, everything was ready, you feel me?
Yeah, bro, it's wrong, honestly. For the people that live in Pakistan, I mean, it's totally normal for them, and I get it.
100%.
And like, if you have the privilege of getting a maid in your house, then obviously everybody would do it. But then also coming over here and experiencing not having a maid and having to do everything yourself, you learn discipline. You learn, you know,
And you learn basic life actions.
Basic life. It's essentials, bro. Like no one's gonna be there forever to take care of you. You know, you need to like be able to cook your own food, wash your own dishes, clean 100%. Your own, wash your own and stuff, whatnot. You know. Right. So, yeah, man. I just think that, you know, if those people were to like come to the U.S. or step out of their comfort zone, you know, one day the mate doesn't come. Right. What are they gonna do?
Exactly.
You know, they don't know shit. Can I swear?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you're good. You're good. Bro. You can curse as much as possible.
Yeah, man. I mean, I guess it was a blessing in disguise, you know, because I wouldn't be the person I am if I hadn't gone through those challenges of, especially like, you know, I legit till this day clean all the dishes, to clean all the clothes and clean the house or whatnot. Right. But yeah, it's a skill that has developed over time, and I'm glad that I have it, alhamdulillah.
Right, 100%. So my next question is like, you know, growing up and like, you know, to this day, what are some like key sort of things that you believe that, you know, you miss within your own life or within your character development that would have been there if you like, you know, were like growing up with your mother and everything, you know? And like it's up to you if you want to answer that question or go into like the depths of it.
That would have been there?
Yeah, that would have been there. Like, you know, like how certain, like, say like there is a needed presence of both the masculine and the feminine, you know, like mother and father in someone's character development, someone's life and stuff like that, right? So like over time, what do you think, you know, like growing up like without a mother, like what did you miss out on basically?
Well, number one thing is, you know, having a mom at house with like mother's love, you know, because my dad goes to work every single day, so I don't really get to see my dad majority of the day. So yeah, definitely a mother's love. And there are some things, you know, that you don't talk to your dad about, but you talk to your mother about, because she's
you can be more vulnerable and stuff.
Yeah, right? She's more open arms to you, you know, and she'll comfort you and stuff. And there are some things you can't say to your dad because you know how dad's natures are.
Right.
So yeah, definitely miss that, man.
Do you think like growing up, like as you like analyze your character, like, you know, as much of like as like a part of like a bigger picture, do you think there are certain things that maybe did not develop in your personality or that you see within your relationships that could be like lacking, you know, like certain like ways you show love or things like
towards
that,
others
basically? Or maybe you overdo it, underdo it, you know, like have you analyze certain things?
Yeah, in a sense, I feel like if my mom was still alive, I feel like me and my brother would be a bit more closer. I mean, we still are close, but we just don't talk a lot, you know. So you know, there's not a lot of deep talks with my brother at all. So maybe that's one of the things. But besides that, man, I feel like.
But what do you think, like, sort of is revoking the depth of conversations with him or anything like that? Is it like a lack of communication or anything like that, or is it just like both of y'all are like, you know, busy with your own lives where you guys never have like, you know, that sort of commitment to like sitting down?
Bro, me and my brother are legit honestly opposites. We're opposite people. There's nothing to relate, honestly, but like we do talk though. I'm not saying we don't talk or that we have beef. It's not that. It's just we don't have time. Right. He goes to work all day, I'm at home, so whenever he comes home I'm out. And yeah, I mean, when me and my dad and my brother, we all sit together every single night. We eat together. We watch TV together. So that's good
stuff. Like you guys have that structure.
Yeah, every single night, all of us eat together.
You can connect.
Yeah, and all three of us, it's less of like a father to son relationship. It's more of like, well, all three of us are friends. You know,
that's good stuff.
Obviously, there are some things some lines you don't cross with your dad, but like in the like, you know, in like everyday day-to-day life, we are like friends. You know, less of like father to son. We joke around and stuff. You know, so yeah. So, you know, not having a mother while growing up, yeah, it was sad, but like I guess I wouldn't be the person I am if, you know, I hadn't gone through those actions in my life.
100%. Yeah. So basically, you know, sort of transitioning from your educational journeys, you ended up going to like Willowbrook High School, right? After your middle school and everything. Yep. And that's where I met Malik and everything, and, you know, like we became good friends after that. But so, talking a little bit about work and how your career started and everything, right? Was there sort of like pressure building like on you, like, you know, sort of like go out and work and stuff like that when your family was met with challenges?
Yes and no. I honestly started working because I needed the money. My dad never really asked me for money because it was like three guys living in one house. You know, how expensive can it be? Right. So, but then also my brother was working at the time too when he got to his junior year of high school. So, you know, when I was a junior, I got a job immediately too, you know, because, you know, who doesn't like money or having financial freedom as well, you know? I didn't want to ask my dad for money every single week. And I was growing up at the time, so yeah, it wasn't any financial hardship or anything, but, you know, I just wanted.
You just wanted that freedom.
I just wanted the financial freedom and have money in my pockets.
Exactly, some self-independence.
Because I would see the people around me have money. People who were raised over here and everything, and they weren't working. Some were working, some weren't, but they had money and I didn't. So I just wanted to have that freedom.
Right. Okay. So basically, where was your first job?
Wingstop.
Wingstop.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually applied for Chuck E. Cheese before that.
Chuck E. Cheese. Okay.
So
you got accepted there?
I had my first interview, and then the guy called me the next day, and he was like, I gotta sneeze. Damn. Alhamdulillah. My bad. But yeah, he called me the next day, and he was like, "Man, you were too nervous during the interview."
He said that.
Yeah. So I didn't.
Damn. Okay.
Cut this part out, gang.
Yeah, I got you.
Damn, bro, where the sneeze coming from? But yeah. So after that, legit the same day, I went to Wingstop, and I saw the hiring sign.
Okay.
Spoke to the manager. She hired me on the spot.
The manager was Desi or like
Indian, yeah.
Okay. And it's Muslim owned, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Only halal Wingstop in the whole U.S.
Slide through, guys.
Man, we legit had people drive over from Texas.
For real?
All over actually not even Texas, all over the country.
Wait, it's the only Wingstop in the entire U.S.?
That's Zabiya Halal.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Damn. So wait, your first job was at Wingstop. You started working there and everything. What was your first paycheck like? What did you spend that on?
First paycheck was $58. I remember that, and I went to my manager the next day. I was like, "Yo, what is this?" She was like, "Bro, you just started working." So, what did I spend it on? Probably like snacks or something, dude. The paycheck after that, at the time we had a PS4 at home, and me and my brother would fight over it every single day. He gets to play 3 hours, I get to play 3 hours, and then I was just tired of switching back and forth. So my second paycheck, I just bought a PS4.
Oh, yeah, nice. Wait, so I think we have discussed your sort of video game streaming journey before as well. Was this before your first job?
It was, yes.
Okay.
At the time, I was just.
So how'd you get interested in that?
YouTube gaming. Man, I was just watching a lot of when GTA 5 first came out. That was honestly the first thing that motivated me to make YouTube videos. And at the time, I was watching a lot of YouTubers. Thanos Gaming, H2O Delirious, some other YouTubers I forgot. But then it kind of motivated me to do YouTube as well, because I legit played the game every single day, and I was like, might as well record money glitches or how to rank up faster and get more money or duplicate cars.
Nice.
So yeah, I begged my dad to get me an Elgato Gaming, which is a capture card, and then I bought an old laptop, and then I bought a microphone, Photoshop editing skills I learned on YouTube and stuff, and then that sparked my YouTube career, man.
Yeah. And that was over the course of 3 years?
3 years.
3 years.
Before the capture card, I used to legit take a small camera on a tripod, and I would point it at the TV.
No way.
And then I would record the video first, and then I would do the audio on the software later when editing.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wait, you can't record on PS4 or anything like that? Just...
No, when GTA came out, it was first on 360. 360 did not have that.
Okay,
no.
so you started streaming on 360 before?
YouTube, yes.
Okay.
YouTube videos, yeah, on 360, and then PS4, and then to PS5.
Okay, that makes sense. So after Wingstop and stuff like that, I remember you were still working there and everything, and then this was back in Willowbrook when we became friends and everything, and you would hook us up, all the friends and stuff,
Bro.
We would give him $20 or something, and they were 50, 80 wings.
Man, that Wingstop place was so shady. On the weekends when I was working, that's when all the Muslims people came, all my friends came, and anytime my friends would call me like, "Yo, we need this many wings," and then I would speak to the guy working next to me. I'm not gonna say his name. So we would tell them to take $20 and go to the bathroom and put it underneath the garbage. And those $20 would go right in our pockets, and then we would just give them 50, 60 wings.
The Wingstop people hearing this right now.
No, that was really bad, bro. But then it got to a point where we just started offering random Muslim people, "Hey, you want 100 wings?
What?
Give us $40. Literally, it was that bad. We were down bad. But it was good though. It was fun. It was fun while it lasted. Yeah.
I feel that. So okay, Wingstop, and then this is when Willowbrook High School is still going on, right? Junior year.
I quit Wingstop my senior year.
Your senior year.
I worked there for about a year.
So how was your high school journey, basically?
High school journey, man. It was good. I came in pretty nervous, man. Made a lot of Desi friends, which was comforting at the time.
It was not common Albright.
No. Albright, I had like a couple white friends, a couple Mexican friends. And then at Jackson, I met also some Desi friends as well. Hamza, Saad, Muzammil, Abdullah. And yeah, I met those friends. And then when I came to Willowbrook, you know, you're like meeting kids from like 4 different middle schools, you know, all coming to high school. So it was cool.
100%.
And it was an experience, and everybody, you know, everybody enjoys their high school experience.
Right, 100%.
You know? One thing I do regret is not doing sports.
Oh wait, weren't you like playing tennis or something? Like
no, I wanted to do football, bro, but I just never really got to it, man. Maybe I was too scared. That's why. Yeah.
They were like good at sport, sort of like, you know, journeys you could have in high school and everything. You know, with any sport. Like I remember people would join their senior years and still be able to like play in varsity or whatever. And
I regret not playing. Seriously.
I remember like seeing all your like workout videos, like, you know, like when I was in high school and stuff.
Yeah,
what was that?
Me, Saad, and Hamza, we had like the whole workout phase. You know, we would wake up at 6 in the morning. We would all bike to Willowbrook, and the gym was the downstairs gym was open at like 7, and we would have about an hour to work out. Nobody was there.
Damn.
And we would just work out in the morning and then eat breakfast. It low-key felt good, but then we did that for like a good solid month or 2. But it was fun. It was fun, man.
So like you guys like kept that up like after like high school or anything like that?
Man, so Saad started doing gymnastics, and man, mashallah, his physique is beautiful. Me and Hamza both slacked off.
Wait, so this was which Hamza was this?
Hamza Sayed.
Okay.
Yeah.
For sure.
But Saad ended up having the best results, and then I slacked off. I used to go to gym here and there, and then yeah, bro, I should have honestly continued. It is what it is, but it's never too late to start, inshallah. So.
Right, 100%.
6 packs.
Workout motivation coming.
Yeah.
But so how, like, talk to me like about education. How was, like, you know, did you struggle with education in Albright or Jackson, and how was it transitioning into like high school and everything? Did you have to take ESL classes at all or no?
Yeah, I was actually in ESL for 6 years.
What?
I was in ESL at Albright, at Jackson, and then at 2 years at Willowbrook.
Oh shit!
Because, bro, I don't know how I could never get out of the class or pass the exam. But then my sophomore year, I ended up passing all the tests. But yeah, bro, I mean, I guess it was good. I didn't have to take a normal English class.
I feel that.
But that's how I met Abdul. That's how I met Shadiyad. A lot of the people that we're close to now, I met through ESL.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's great to hear. And I think we met in like Spanish. I mean, we met before, but we had like Spanish class or whatever together.
Yes.
And there was like Abdul, Athar, Anas, and you, like, you know, in the same class and stuff.
That was bad. Sit in the back of the class, make fun of Abdul, put him in uncomfortable positions. That was so funny.
Man, that was good
also
times.
High school, man. You know, first love in high school definitely was a life changer for me too, man.
For real?
Won't say the person's name, but like, bro, it really made me who I am today. Seriously.
No way. I taught you like certain fundamental things, you think?
It did. It definitely brought me closer to Dean. It did. Because had I not gone through that whole, you know, high school lovey-dovey relationship, it wasn't even a relationship. It was like a high school, I don't know.
Whatever, like crush, like infatuation you have.
Yeah.
It's kind of like an infatuation. So, right. That makes sense.
Alhamdulillah for that, bro, because I would not be the person who I am today if it wasn't for that. But I'm glad in a way that didn't work out.
Yeah. I feel that. Well, also, like, after you continued, you know, like learning in high school, what were like some of your favorite classes or something?
Mr. Molina. You
know Mr. Molina? The Spanish class? Nah, I went straight to Clement, bro.
Man, he was awesome.
Oh, bro?
Me and Abdul had fun in his class. And then, who else was fun in the school? Oh, ESL classes were fun. That was the only class I ended up going on a field trip to.
Oh, where'd you guys go?
Class. We went to, I think it was Eldridge Planetarium, or the in the city.
Chicago Skyline place, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, we went to that. And then who else was my favorite teacher? Oh, speech class was fun with Chineki.
Chineki, oh.
Yeah.
We had like Mr. White.
Oh, no, we would switch off one day with Chineki and one with Mr. White.
Oh, wow, okay.
For speech and
you guys had like speech tech?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, we did like regular speech, so I guess that's why.
Yeah, bro, honestly, I didn't really much think of teachers.
I feel that. So, like, you were, like, mostly involved with, like, you know, like, what was your main thing, like, your go-to thing when you were at high school? What would you be, like, you know, mostly spending your time with? Bunking classes or what?
Ditching classes, bro.
Damn.
Ditching classes, going to the bathroom, getting buzzed as fuck, dude. Like, it was it was so funny, man. It was an experience because that's when the whole Pasha started getting popular.
Right.
And Jewel pods and fixes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you would just go in the bathroom and see
and
like.
So that's when your Nick started.
10, 15 kids in the bathroom. Everybody's getting buzzes. Well, I had such a bad buzz once, dude. I went to the bathroom. I came out. I couldn't walk.
What?
I legit have to hold to side. I'm like, bro, I can't walk. It was such like, yeah.
All right, guys, we back at it again. So basically, Malik, where were we? What were we talking about? I think we were going over your educational journey.
Yeah.
And, your time in school and everything, and getting buzzed in the bathroom.
Yeah.
So that happened, right? And then tell me about the friend group dynamics that you had. And I remember I joined the entire same friend group later on and stuff. When I met you guys, and it was kind of funny how we met, right? I don't know if you remember the exact story, but
I don't. How did we meet?
So let me think about this, right? So I mentioned on my first podcast, right? I had social anxiety and everything. I was not meeting anybody, right? And I would go out sometimes, and I would go towards the Perham sort of routes, right? Where you go from Brandywine to Perham or whatever. You just on walks or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I would see y'all, I would see Faizy, I would see you, I would see Shazib and everybody. You guys playing together or whatever, right?
Oh yeah.
And then you guys would sometimes call out yo, was good and stuff like that. But I would just make small talk and not say a lot more. And then
I do remember that.
I think I don't know, you knew me from the small talk or something or whatever, but it wasn't until Shazib and Faizy talked to me and I got close with them, and then later on we met in the library or whatever, because library was where we would get together and everything.
No,
and then
that's
we would
true.
go to Taco Bell and everything together, you feel me?
After school and stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
I know, I do remember that.
That was that. I think that was sort of where we met and everything. But okay, so I remember when we met, we were in junior year of high school, around that time, sophomore year, whatever. And we had Spanish class together or whatever. I remember everybody during that time, even though they might have been doing, God knows what, but they had a certain plan for the future, certain things that they wanted to do or whatever. What was your top sort of goals that you had, because goals sort of evolve, right? While we're growing up or whatever, and certain things you drop, certain things you keep. What were certain things that you had while growing up?
I mean, everybody's goal at that time is honestly to go to a good college, get a good education,
right.
Work their dream job, and then I think that's where I stood too at the time in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Wanted to go to a good college and then be able to get a good job and buy my dad a house or whatnot.
Right.
So that's where my goals was honestly, and it still is in a sense. I do still want to complete my education from UIC and graduate and get a good job. But
would you say the structure has changed of how you want to go about things?
Yeah. I 100%, man. Over the time, I have realized that college isn't the only way to make income in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's good to complete your college and get your degree, but then there's also some other ways people do take that are easier and that are more.
What were some of the avenues that you were able to tap into?
For a career future, I mean, people around me at the time were doing a BA, which is business administration, right? Business analyst and stuff. So there was this course that people were doing, which was a 3 to 4 month long course. You would learn the basics of what an analyst does, and then there were some shady parts to it, fake resume building, fake diplomas.
Fake
but
diplomas?
Yeah, bro.
Where were they getting fake diplomas from?
Pakistan, India.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yes.
Damn.
But then I didn't really choose that route, and then a friend of mine, Ali Ahmad, his uncle, when I first started college, he moved here, and he was an iOS developer.
Okay.
Which focuses on the language of Swift. So at the time he started a course.
This was back when you were in high school, or
No, first year of college.
Okay.
So he started this course at his house where he was teaching his family members, which consisted of 2-3 aunties, a lot of older guys that were working at gas stations, working 9 to 5, but at local gas stations or markets and stuff. And then Ali was also in the class, but Ali didn't really pay attention or whatnot. So his mom asked me, why don't you come join the class for Ali, and then you can learn it too. And I was like, might as well. So
oh damn! So you had the class for free at that time?
I did have the class for free.
Wow.
And it was fun, man. In the beginning, I got introduced to coding. I'd never really liked coding, and I had a bad experience with it in Willowbrook senior year. I don't know what language it was that
like
they
AP
taught.
Comp Sci? You took AP Comp Sci?
No, I took with Mr. Bridges.
The engineering class.
I forget. I was with Muzammil, bro. I forgot which language it was, but I had a bad experience with it. So I went in the class, didn't really think of it much. I learned the basics of Swift, and then over time, it eventually started to pick up, and I got into it. But then at the same time, I was a full-time student at COD. Okay. So I was like, man, I can't really do this, because he was assigning us homework too weekly. So I decided to drop the course. Damn. And then that was probably one of the.
Like 4 months.
Yeah, it was towards the end, man, and I regret that decision till now because everyone that stayed in the class ended up getting employed, making over 120 a year, So it definitely made me realize that skill set does hold value in the time they would live in right now. So had I stayed in the class, God knows I would have been employed too, inshallah. But everything happens for a reason. I'm not mad or anything. So
100%. But you were able to do that course again.
Yeah. So yeah, it's fast forward to 2022. I started the course back in August. With UIC, and this time I took less classes at UIC, so I can focus more on the course. And then, we have about 2 months left in the course, and alhamdulillah, it's good, 2
man.
Months.
So is the course longer this time, or?
No, we're just dragging it a month longer because the market is really slow and the whole economy is in a recession.
Oh.
So I mean,
just for the jobs purpose.
Just for the jobs purpose, yeah. Okay. We're pretty much done with the course now. We're doing moving towards more business sided things. So
that makes sense.
Yeah,
so
man. Alhamdulillah.
Apart from the course and stuff, I know you had your reselling venture and everything, and that everybody around Lombard knows about, because Malik's a popular shoe reseller around this area. So tell me about that. How did it start? How was your passion for shoes and everything? And
bro, honestly, in high school, I didn't really care about shoes or anything. I knew people used to resell Yeezys, Jordans, and stuff, and I always wanted them, but I didn't really care to spend that much money on a pair of shoes.
Right.
And then honestly, when I was working at Wingstop, I could never save $500. My paychecks, I was only working weekends. My paychecks were $250 to $200.
So that was pocket money for you. It was
So my friend Anas, who got into reselling before me, Anas Haq,
Anas was into reselling?
Way before me. He was, and he was a good friend, man. He's still a good friend, but he offered me, hey, why don't you save up $500 to $1,000 and come do reselling with me? You'll make much more.
Okay.
So I decided to take the opportunity. I saved up $500, I think, and then I started reselling with Anas, and we did it together for a couple of months, man.
Oh wow.
And then it was too much for Anas at one point, so he just left.
Okay.
So at the time when we started reselling, we were doing it locally.
You guys learned this by yourself or
reselling was buying shoes for cheap off this person and selling it to this person for more, It was all a local thing.
No, but the suppliers and everything, or certain people that would give you shoes.
So how me and Anas got shoes was it was pretty funny, man. We these three guys used to come from Indiana, and they used to basically scam online, and they used to sell us the shoes for dirt cheap.
So they were selling original shoes though.
Original shoes. I mean, honestly, there were some times the shoes were fake, but 80% of the time, I would say the shoes are real.
So they were scamming people online, selling.
They were basically getting the shoes for free, so they were giving it.
How did you guys get this plug?
James Michael. Yes. But
I heard from someone, right? And I don't know, if you want to confirm this or not, that you guys one day, you guys went to James and you guys were you guys paid him some money and told him okay, teach us.
I think Anas might have done that because Anas and James started reselling way before me.
Okay.
So yeah, Anas definitely met those three guys through James, absolutely, and then we basically took those guys away from James, and then I don't know if he was mad at us or not. Yeah, we just started honestly outbidding James.
Oh wow. Okay.
So if the shoe had a value of $250 and James was offering them $100, we would just offer $120.
It was the same shoe though.
Same shoe. And then we just started.
How was it possible you guys got the same shoe when you guys took those guys away from Indiana?
Oh, I mean, it would be random whoever they're scamming online.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so.
That makes sense.
But yeah, that's how we started locally, and then Anas left because it was honestly overwhelming.
How did you guys segue sort of from the James, the Indiana guys, and basically how did you get more like sort of further like deeper into it and everything? And,
so the thing with Indiana guys was it wasn't honestly reliable because sometimes they would have shoes and sometimes they wouldn't.
Was it safe though? Like sort of dealing with it and everything? Yeah. I remember like I would be like we would be in Zohaib's car parked up in Parliament. Like,
yeah.
And then like they would come and like they would sometimes ask you to step out or something.
Definitely,
like that.
it seemed shady, but the guys were nice. They were like our age. They were like 20, 21, but they were cool.
So why weren't they doing it themselves?
Because they didn't have any customers to buy their shoes off of them.
Okay.
And at the time, I don't think they really knew the value of the shoes. Because they were like getting Travis Scott shoes, Jordans, Yeezys, and the latest models too.
Bro.
So they just like, when they saw someone buying everything in bulk, they were like, okay, we're coming from Indiana, coming over to you guys.
So you guys were getting that shit in bulk?
Yeah, we were buying like 20, 30 pairs at a time.
Like, make some decent back off that.
Yeah, alhamdulillah, man. It was good. And then it just started to slow down over time, because how long can you scam for, bro?
Right.
So I even forgot the guys' names, bro. It was like 3-4 years ago. But yeah, so Honest decided to not do it no more.
Okay.
And then I needed to do reselling because I loved like being free and then making money on the side, not having to work a 9 to 5. Right. So I needed to figure out a way.
You were still working Wingstop at that time?
I wasn't. I had quit. I didn't have a job at the time. Okay. So reselling was my own thing.
And this was like senior year of high school?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
so I got into sneaker botting. Yeah. So
I remember you telling me that you bought like a bot with another guy for like 6K or something, right? 5K.
Oh, that was after my first bot. It was like a Christmas sale. It was like $500, and I was like,
how'd you know like about these bots and how they work?
Man, because I always saw like sneaker YouTubers. They would use these bots to cop shoes.
Okay.
And so
basically
like
that added like more entries for you in like a certain raffle or something, like that's how that.
See, no, the wrong perception people have of botting is that you buy a bot, you'll get shoes. That's not how it goes. There's much more than that. You need to buy proxies. You need to buy a server. You need to know what you're doing. You can even buy a $10,000 bot, but if you don't know what you're doing, you're not gonna get the shoes. Right. So in the beginning, I didn't really hit a lot, and then it was just like a trial and error thing. I saw other YouTubers used to make sneaker botting videos, looked at their setups and how they did it, and then over time it got better. But then yeah, sneaker botting is basically a program that, like if a website is dropping, at the time was Yeezy Supply, which is Kanye's website, they were dropping Yeezys, and compared to me being on my cell phone or my computer, like one entry, I would have 1,000 people, like 1,000 tasks on the bot, and those 1,000 tasks try to check out.
This bot was a one-time purchase or was it a subscription service?
It was a yearly $500, and then when I bought the $500 bot at the time in the market, there were a lot of better bots, going from anywhere from $500 to like at least $8,000.
Yeah, but this landed you like a lot of luck.
Yes, it did. Yeah. Because I learned a lot from the first bot, and then I was like,
you not have to get like a server or anything for that.
In the beginning I was running it off of my local computer, but then after that I started using AWS, their servers. Because man, my computer was really old. But AWS, you can customize your server however you want. You can put as many CPUs or RAMs as you want on it. So they charge you hourly. It's like $1 or something.
Okay.
So
that sort of AWS as server thing really worked out for you.
Yes. Because
you bought like more bots and everything too.
I did. I ended up splitting 2 bots. One was 6,000, one was 5,000 between me and my friend. And in the beginning, we were splitting profits, and then he just stopped asking me for it.
Damn.
But then, the thing is, we made our investment back.
Okay.
So we were talking about sneaker botting, I think.
Sneaker botting, yes.
Yes.
So you bought your, newest bot and everything, and it got you like a lot of success and everything. So basically, you sell through GOAT usually.
StockX.
Okay.
But over the time, I've learned not to sell on StockX. Only some stuff that I cannot move locally. You can get the most money out of that you want locally, posting on OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace, even selling on eBay.
That makes sense.
Gets you the most money, honestly.
Okay. So basically, apart from like reselling sneakers, was there something else that you tried reselling? Like clothes and everything, right?
Yeah, I did. But number one thing that worked out for me the most was the PlayStation 5s.
Okay.
PS5 was, man, when they first came out, it was popping off, man.
Did you do the botting for that as well?
I did. The developers of the bots actually pushed out an update that was, the bot was able to support Target, Amazon, Walmart, Best Buy.
That must have worked out really
all these websites that were dropping the PS5s. And I remember PS5s came out 2 years ago, and they came out like a month or two before Christmas time.
Okay.
Man, retail was like $550 after tax, and you were selling it like for $1,000 locally.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because of the demand.
Just because of the demand,
So
because
mostly the demand is the biggest factor in like these reselling.
yeah,
sort of demand.
shoes, clothing, electronics, demand. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So, moving on from that reselling sort of path, what do you have in your mind, for your overall career and stuff, right? You did the iOS thing.
Yeah.
You have what are you majoring in again?
IDS.
Okay.
Same thing as you did.
Sciences.
Yeah.
This is basically a mix of project management, business analytics. We learn a lot of SQL, Python, just a lot of Excel, spreadsheet stuff. So what is like one thing about it? Like, what's a favorite class that you would like to share? Something like that. Because you just came to UIC too, right?
Yeah.
It's not been like too long. It's like been like a year, right?
Yeah. It's been a year.
Okay.
Yeah, this semester.
Mm-hmm.
What class that I took that I liked the most?
Basically.
Damn. Believe it or not, BA 200 wasn't that bad.
BA 200.
Yeah, because having to like actually learn about the back end of what happens on Amazon and YouTube and Facebook,
right?
It's low-key interesting to learn about that stuff. I mean, I know the class was hard, even the exams were hard, but then the shit we learned in class, it was pretty interesting.
You took BA 100 at UIC or not?
No.
Okay.
No. What did I say? BA or IDS?
BA.
No.
said
I meant IDS 200, not BA. With Doug. Yeah, the class was extremely hard, but the shit we learned in the class was interesting.
You guys have any questions like, what does professor think about this or something?
Oh, we did.
Damn, bro. I don't know why these researchers like
he's a good guy, but the course he teaches is hard.
I've heard his classes in person are better because he cracks like jokes and shit, and like.
Man, he swears in class. Yeah, no fucks given whatsoever. Yeah, he's a cool guy. And but I had like a 56 in the class.
Damn.
And I needed a C or better. Bro, he curved me like 20%. Wow. Yeah. Shout out, dog.
Alhamdulillah, you graduated, like you were able to pass it.
Alhamdulillah. Yeah.
That's good stuff. Okay, so what are your sort of career goals, when we're talking about like IDS, iOS? I mean, obviously, it could be understood that you want to land somewhere in the IT field, right?
Yeah, definitely the IT field. See, like, in end of January when this iOS course does end, I would like to get a job, Okay. Inshallah, if I do get a job that I can work remotely and that pays good without a degree, I'm not saying I would, like, quit school, but I would definitely take it part-time. And God forbid if that doesn't work out, then I always have my degree. I have about a year left. So yeah, man. After I get the degree, I would definitely want to be working like an analyst position, but like working remote. Don't want to go to the office working.
I feel that.
Or even hybrid, if
That's
anything.
been the case for a lot of people, and especially me too. Like going to office is such a hassle, and to be honest, the thing is, the office culture isn't even there anymore. Like
That's
when
true.
I go to the office, the employees aren't there. A lot of people are working from home. The thing is, people are not like ready to come back to office. Most of people like the coronavirus pandemic like changed work dynamics for good. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, people do not want to come in no more. They're just mostly used to the life at home. It gives them so much flexibility and freedom.
Yeah.
So I think this has been a really major shift of people's work-life balance as well.
Yeah, bro. Nobody wants to go to the office after the pandemic, and the thing is, the companies need to accept that, and they are adapting to it because if the people aren't coming to the office, the only option you have is to let them work remote.
100%. But the problem is now companies have measured productivity, before coronavirus and now, and they know that people can have a tendency to slack off a little bit at home. They're more comfortable. They're not in a work environment because the fuck you gonna do at work? You're not just gonna just go to sleep or just go chill with your friends or tend to your family or anything like that. You just have to remain in the office space. The most you could do is just get lunch.
Let me ask you, if you were to work a 9 to 5 in person, how many of those hours to 9 to 5 are you actually working?
Probably 5, bro. The rest of the hours, 4 to 5 hours.
Just chilling.
It's mostly chilling, chilling in the sense, right? There's a whole not spectrum, but there's a wide range of things that you're doing usually. Just the whole remainder of time that you're there. The whole time that you're there. But it could be that certain times you're kind of like doing something else at the same time, like your mind is wandering somewhere else. But the thing is, you have to remain in this space, right? So there's not a lot of things that you can do when like getting out of this space or whatever. But no, like to answer your question, when you're working 9 to 5, you're not completely consistently working the entire time, So that
makes more sense, bro.
Right.
But then honestly, you would want to work remote if you could.
100%. Yeah, so I'm working hybrid, right? Like right now, because of the holiday season and everything, I have full remote capabilities.
Are you going back in person after the holidays?
After the holidays, it's like hybrid schedule, right? So I have to like go in 2 days a week. I have to be in person there, which is gonna be interesting to see like how that shapes over time. But to be honest, like the remote job is the best, right? Like who doesn't want a remote nowadays? Everybody has so much flexibility while working remote. Like personally for me, I would want to be like traveling while working and stuff like that. Like I know like I have cousins who work in companies here but are chilling in South Africa. They're working from there. They're traveling the world while working, So
that's a dream, bro.
Yeah, 100%. Like, that's the type of thing like where you can have that type, like like how people say that they quit their jobs and have that financial freedom and are able to travel and handle their businesses. It's kind of like that similar model where you're working and traveling and everything as well. So to be honest, like that is a goal for sure. But let's see like how the careers shape up and everything. So okay, apart from the career and everything, let's talk like religion. Let's talk deen and everything. You said that after your first experiences in Willowbrook and everything, you got closer to your deen and everything.
Yeah.
So what does deen mean to you basically?
Deen shapes your life. It gives you a purpose. It gives you something to follow, and basically it disciplines you, but it also teaches you about life. You know, obviously, like if you were to look at the Quran, it has all the answers for your lifestyle. You're going through sadness, it has an answer. You're going to worry, it has an answer. Anything. At the time in high school, I didn't really have anyone to go to. I couldn't go to my friends, cry about a girl, or couldn't go to my dad. And then Deen was my only thing at the time, and I started praying a lot, and crying in front of Allah and crying in Salah is the best thing you can do.
Right.
And that that someone's listening to you, which is Allah, And then besides from high school, what's it called? During the pandemic, when I wasn't able to go out, nobody was able to go out, and it was lockdown, so I started watching a lot of Islamic videos and learning about the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and learning about how the deen started, from Adam to Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and the misconceptions people have about Islam, and what Islam means to people, and like what it means to you, and how you should follow Islam.
Right. So while you were growing up, right, like in Pakistan, or even after coming here, did you have I know, like I've studied in Pakistan. We have like Islamic classes there and stuff like that are ingrained in your education, and everything. Did you have like Islamiyat?
Islamiyat, yes.
Okay. So do you think like when you like came here and stuff like that, you were able to continue that Islamic education in a certain way?
No. In Pakistan, Qari Sahib would come every day. You'd read like 1, 2, 3 pages with him, and then and then you finish the Quran 1 or twice, and then that's all. But we all the Muslims that are born into Muslim family, alhamdulillah, we're blessed to be born into Muslim family. But I don't think you're truly a Muslim until you get to learn about your own religion.
Exactly. 100%.
There comes a stage in a person's life where you need to explore your own religion and to see what it offers.
That's where like people like figure out what it means to them personally, right?
Correct.
Like you could be born to like a religion, like you have all the theory present and everything, right?
Yeah.
But it does not come into practice until it means something to you, until you get those like spiritual sort of feelings and everything, and like it's just like you just have truly like a connection with God and everything, right? Because you're aware of it, right?
100%.
And at the end of the day, like it's just all about awareness and self-reflection. Like, okay, where am I going with life? What role does Allah play in this? What role does my Islam, like my deen plays in this, everything? And if you think about it, like there's a lot of mechanisms present, right? Like as you said, sad days, bad days. Why does all the answers, all the cures, everything lies within Islam, right? That's like so easy to say, but when you look into the depths and everything, right, you have all these frameworks present. Like, for example, we enter a conversation as Muslims, right? Muslim brothers or whatever, we say Assalamu alaikum. Before the conversation has even started, we are already wishing peace upon each other, So when you think about these details, there's so much wisdom present behind even the smallest things in Islam that, it just truly blows your mind that how are all these things just meant for your own good. Because at the end of the day, you can pray all that you want, but like why would like God is self-sufficient, right? He doesn't need our prayers and everything like that. But these mechanisms are just like refreshments for ourselves. We're
That's
refreshing
true.
our deen. Like
it's a blessing.
Exactly. 5 times a day we're just doing that and even the tribulations, the problems in our life, the deepest traumas we have, at the end of the day we're able to even conquer that, and they even become like a blessing, because if you did not go through those things, you wouldn't be the person today.
That's true, man.
You're not going to be that same person today, and that's why these lessons are present, right, within all these tribulations and everything. And
Allah puts you through trials just so you get close to Him.
Exactly.
So
100%. So like, where do you think you see yourself in the practice of deen or anything like that? Do you want to do something with this? Or do you want to keep it as like a personal practice, or do you want to propagate it in a certain way? Because the thing is, we can have all this knowledge, right?
Yeah.
We can have all this awareness and everything, but where do we exercise it? Where does it become meaningful if we're not even sort of like propagating that knowledge, right? For example, like we sort of feel like scared sometimes, or we could be posting stories about our friends or like anything like that, right? But some people like sometimes like people feel insecure, or certain they're hesitant to post certain things about their deen or even talk about their deen, because of XYZ reasons, right? They could be like insecure of it, or they could be like thinking like it's not cool, I have like a different audience or something like that. But at the end of the day, if you're holding all this knowledge within yourself and you just die with that knowledge, then what's the use of that knowledge?
That's true. We should honestly, like you said, exercising the religion and seeing how you're, going about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the person that pushes religion onto someone,
Mm-hmm.
where if they're going through something in life, I definitely try to help them out through the religion side. What the Prophet ﷺ did, the same sort of problem that they might be going through, how to deal with it. But then, to me, it's always been something I hold private to myself, because sometimes I do tend to, if I was to speak in a religious surrounding
context,
sometimes I'm wrong, or sometimes my views don't really align with other people's view.
Mm-hmm.
Then you tend to be the bad guy because you have a different view on religion, so
right. But say if you started a conversation, or because there could be good that comes out of your words, that your conversation as well, and there could be bad too. So if you make it clear before the conversation. A lot of people say this aloud as well, that if there's anything that's coming from that if there's any good that comes out of this conversation, out of my words, it's from Allah, and if there's any bad sort of coming out of this from this conversation or from my words, it's from me, they attribute the good to Allah and everything. So even if there's certain wrong things within your speech,
I agree. No, 100%. No, you're right.
But why do you think there is that hesitance and stuff like that? Just because, if you think about it, right? Our ancestors and stuff, they gave up every single thing. They gave up their entire lives when they were transitioning from different countries, from different lands and everything, just to uphold this one message, just to uphold this one religion and everything. At the end of the day, they moved through cultures, nationalities, every single thing. What do you think is that one key element, within upholding that message that really pushes them forward, and they don't think about anything and just want to uphold that at the end of the day? And what do you think we have that within us, or
Man,
not anymore?
That's a very deep question. I don't know what motivated them. I mean, you gotta think, right? This is back in the 1400s. Even after the Prophet passed away, people migrated all over the world from Medina,
right,
to spread the message, like you said.
Exactly.
It's just the love they had for the religion and what the religion did for them. Because a lot of people before Islam were not on the right path. They were astray. They were doing a lot of the stuff that, is haram. And then I feel like Islam just brought their life into a whole circle. And then that's what motivated them, because, the Prophet did, the whole message was to get to every person,
Right.
So I guess it was a job for them to, spread it all over the world, which it did, but...
Right, but say that was the prophet's job, right?
Prophet's job,
but then if you think about the current statistics, right? Islam is currently the fastest growing religion in the world, has been for a long time and everything. And if you think about all these people, say for example, if we take the creation of Pakistan, right?
Yeah.
Pakistan was created just for Muslims to be able to practice their religion freely and without any restriction or anything like that, and just be really confident, in that sort of practice. And a lot of people, when they were when this announcement came out, or whatever, when this sort of thing came out that they were going to take their own country now, a lot of people started fighting. A lot of riots happened. You know about the Indo-Pak War and like the partition that happened, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people like if you ever like sit down with your grandparents, or like any old people, like you can hear all these stories of like people getting cut apart. A lot of people like just killed in the most.
Themselves.
Yeah. So what is this act of self-sacrifice, sort of rooting from? Like, why are people doing all this just to uphold this one message, right?
If you're fighting for something for the sake of Allah, let's say like the partition, right? Muslims wanted their own country to practice their own religion. If people are willing to sacrifice their own lives, I mean that's basically telling you they're doing it for the will of Allah and for the future generation of Islam and the future generation of Pakistan.
Right, exactly. So that's what it is. It's the future generations, right?
Future generations.
It's like they know the precious value they hold within their religion, right? And then they know that if they were able like if they would lose it after like centuries and centuries of like their generations like doing God knows what. So now that they have this precious value and they want to keep on to it, and that's that only thing, like all these mechanisms, as I told you, right? These small mechanisms and everything, they just mush together in this beautiful thing where like you have a consistent sort of framework of hope and blessings and all these things that you could ask for and everything, right?
I don't think the people in this generation would be able to
sort of appreciate that. So say if we come from the same framework, right, that these people sacrifice their entire belongings, their entire lives just to uphold this message for the will of Allah and for like future generations that they can sort of practice their religion and everything. Now you have the same people, right? They migrated to different countries. Maybe they're in those same countries and stuff like that, right? Now they're shaking ass on TikTok and stuff like that. Like, where does it all just lead to? You feel me? Like where I'm not like saying like, okay, this generation is completely wrong, like shitting on this generation is completely lost and everything, but do they not have any awareness of what their ancestors sacrificed? Like,
no,
where?
I don't think it's appreciated or they're even known. They don't even. I don't think it's just they're not aware of it.
They're not aware. Of it.
we take things for granted.
If we're not aware of it, then why are there like not like enough conversations present about this?
Because bro, it's just the time of society we live in, man. People are not focused on what the ancestor did before us. They don't care about why Pakistan was, initially why was Pakistan made its own country. They don't realize that it was made for us Muslims. And first of all, Pakistan itself was
it's not even on the same.
It was depicted to be an Islamic country, but the people inside Pakistan mixed culture and Islam. First of all,
exactly.
And
the problem is like what it stands for today is not even the
Islamic.
Yeah, is the purpose. It's
people mixed up.
It started off on basically.
Pakistan is not a practicing Muslim country, bro. I'm telling you, it is in some ways, but there are some things that Pakistan does. It's not right, man. It's not right.
100%. So basically, like, if we take this like same like concept, right? Like, you have so many people and this act of like self-sacrifice, and okay. Self-sacrifice is always there when people know that there's certain precious things that they sacrifice their own wills for, that they sacrifice their own careers, their own lives for. And you can see that in like certain people's lives. Like for example, certain people that come, like I was hearing this at Dar es Salaam, right? Like which is a local masjid we have in Lombard, Illinois. So basically certain people that come work for Dar es Salaam or other mosques and everything like that, when they see that there's a certain model, there's a certain structure that's like, really appealing to the youth, that's appealing to the people in general, and it's growing and it's on a good path. A lot of people I've like, seen and like, they get shouted out too that they, sort of sacrifice their careers in different states. And they were able to just like visit these masajids like 2 or 3 times, and they're coming here and just working for these mosques and whatnot because they know that it's a model that will
they use it as a channel to get to
exactly, and that this model is already on the path of success and everything. They just want to contribute to that and everything, right? And that may not be an act of self-sacrifice that can be as comparative to what our ancestors did, but still there is that act of self-sacrifice in some way present. And if you think about it, like acts of self-sacrifice are in our lives as well when we're like letting go of our will and then sort of taking up the Islamic mechanisms and stuff for letting those things go. For example, someone curses at us or someone is mean to us and stuff like that. We sacrifice our own will to fire back at them or to take revenge from them or to like, do whatever, right? Like certain times we just stick to our own sort of like, values we have, certain mechanisms we have, the literature that we have from Islam and everything, right? So what is your perspective? Like, how do you think that maybe self-sacrifice is present within your own life?
Man.
And this can be hard to grasp, right? Because a lot of people, when they self-reflect, they, sort of see these things that, okay, maybe I'm so within myself, maybe I'm so within my ego, within my own money, within getting my own bag, and just, I'm so about by myself, but then one day I just die, and then all I had was myself.
Yeah, what did you leave behind?
So,
man, that's a good question. I don't know. I don't think I've done anything to honestly contribute to like
something bigger than yourself.
Something
basically.
bigger than to myself. I don't think I've done that yet. Which I never really thought of it like that. I should, man, because you're right. Because at the end of the day, when you're gonna die, what are you gonna leave
100%.
behind?
Because if you think about it, there's like 7 billion plus people in this world, right? They're doing the same thing. Everybody's getting their bank. Everybody's getting their money. Yeah. Everybody wants fame, and everybody goes through that same cycle. And then one day they're like, okay, this is too late, and they, sort of breathe their like last moments, their last breaths, and then they're done. Like they're dead, bro. Like they did not do anything for their own good, or
to the others' good. Yeah,
exactly, and onto the others' good. They did nothing for the community or anything like that because they were never a part of something bigger than themselves, right?
That's true, but I never really thought of that, and I don't think I've done enough to like even consider leaving anything behind, or and it's something that I should definitely it's an eye opener, honestly.
This is something that people never reflect about because there's so many mechanisms that distract us into self-gratification, TikTok and everything, always just funny to you. You're going through that constant dopamine sort of overload that is your brain exists in that state, you feel me? Yeah. So you're never able to sort of draw out of that and just self-reflect like, okay, what am I doing with my life? I'm gonna die one day, and then if you think about it, 10,000 billion years from now, whatever the time period may be, people are not going to remember Elon Musk 1 billion years from now.
Absolutely,
you feel me?
Absolutely.
Like 100,000 years from now, people are not going to know who Elon Musk was, or all these rich people, or all these idols that we look up to, People are not going to remember them. So if we sort of want to get our life in the same trajectory of getting money like them, getting the same cars like them, what are we leading towards? Yeah. So that's what I think about it. And I'm like, okay, if God placed us on this earth, it's for a reason. Because there are so many, people we could have been born as, but we're born as Muslims, as who we are and our sort of unique identities and everything, and these sort of consciousness, in our minds and everything. And then if you think about it, as I said, 100,000 years from now, 500,000 years from now, people are not going to remember Elon Musk, but people are going to remember God. People are going to remember, all these religions that exist. People are going to remember Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, So if you think about it, these are the only things that stay, And then when you think about that, all these people who had these acts of self-sacrifice, they sacrifice themselves and they sacrifice their belongings to be a part of something bigger that will actually exist in time, that will actually exist in the future to come. Exactly. Because they knew that these things were timeless. They could not sacrifice their lives, be about themselves, be about their own egos, earn all these things. And, that would lead to nothing. But when they're doing something as a collective good, as for something bigger than themselves, and that's what the Prophet ﷺ did, He never cared about himself or what state he was in and everything, He lived in a state of simplicity. And his life's model exists for something for us to analyze, and see that if he lived in this state of simplicity and not chasing after all these things, and he just did this for a collective good, for his people to grow and his communities to succeed and everything. You see that community today, I
mean, look at it now. He has billions of people are Muslims because of him.
Exactly. So that is that act of self-sacrifice that for the collective good. It's not about you. It's not like Malik Abdullah or Salman Zubair are gonna be known for this after 100,000 years. It's like a certain cause that we work towards, that we set our lives towards. that cause is going to be known, you know,
in the future. Yeah,
exactly.
Whether we don't want our names to be recognized. What we did was the cause itself.
That is the biggest act of like self-sacrifice, because then you're letting go of your own gratifications of what you want in life, and then, you know, doing it for something greater. Now, obviously, you know, that this idea, people, even if they have full awareness of it, at the end of the day, they need money, right? They need a home, they need like food, they need like, you know, certain things to like feed their kids or whatever. Like they need all these things that are necessary in life, right? But their bigger picture, their bigger purpose is committed towards like, you know, maybe community building, or maybe like, you know, working for something bigger than themselves. And it could be anything, you know. Many people, it could not be religion, it could be something else, but it's something at the end of the day bigger than yourself, right? So when you see all these like people, and I'm not shitting, right? I'm just using it as a model of comparison.
No,
right? Like people just doing God knows what on TikTok, and people are just constantly stuck in this dopamine overload, you know, smoking weed all day, you know, drinking all day and everything. It's just constant gratification to the person. Where do you guys see yourselves, like, you know, like in the future? Like, and a lot of people are not able to answer this, who are constantly stuck in these mechanisms. Like,
I agree on myself.
What is the way out, right? What is the escape from here? Like, are you gonna like be able to accomplish something that, you know, that is bigger than yourself, or is it gonna be constantly drowned in, you know, these mechanisms of self-gratification?
Man, I don't even know how one just steps out of that and then looks at the bigger picture, or how does one work towards a bigger picture, you know? Getting aside from working on your own self and, you know, your own worldly goals.
That's what it is, bro. That's why this identity of being a Muslim, or, you know, this religion of Islam means to submit, right? It's the act of submission, where you just submit your will, you submit your dopamine, you submit whatever you're, you know, subjecting your brain to, you're submitting even your intellectual capacities.
Everything, just submit to
it's complete unconditional submission to the will of God, you know. And when you do that, then you see all these things that, you know, that maybe I'm working on something bigger than myself, you know. So I feel like it's just a sort of period of self-reflection and awareness of all these things, and, you know, just thinking in depth of like, where could things go, or where could things lead from, like, you know, XYZ. But
I mean, like, I could go home right now and I could die on the way and nobody would remember who I am.
Exactly. That's how you know.
Yeah, and had I done something before this that was for the bigger picture, that would have been like, oh, Malik was known for this, you know.
100%.
He contributed to this, so.
100%. But that's how limited our people's own consciousness is. You know, like human beings' consciousness, that's so limited in this way. But if you think about it, these people would forget that who you were, but God would never forget, you know, even the smallest thing that you did for him and everything like that, you know, that you did within his will, you know, and like you prayed or whatever, like even if the smallest thing, he doesn't forget, you know. And that just opens your eyes about, like, you know, the comparative nature of people and how God is, and if you think about it, right, and I was pondering about this on, like, you know, in the past few days and everything. If you sort of go through Allah's 99 names, God's 99 names, if you look at all those translations of every single name, you know, the most knowing, the most generous, you know, the most just and everything, you see that all these elements, these qualities of goodness are present as nur in the human being, you know. We have an element of justice. It's not going to be the ultimate. It's not going to be the all.
We have a little bit of it.
Yeah, we have a little bit of it and stuff like that. That's how you gain more awareness about how the human being's goodness is structured, right? The nur in the human being is structured. So when you think about it, like, these qualities are already, like, you know, explained and translated and out there and everything, but it just introduces and, you know, sort of further explains God's, like, you know, just
ultimate power.
Exactly, ultimate power, his extensive nature of different things and all these things. And a person could be feeling like really messed up in their head or whatever like that, but it could be this one translation, like the most generous, like this one name that could really stick out to them, and they could hear that, and, you know, it could like really reach out to their heart. Because at the end of the day, like, you know, whatever you are going through, God knows it best, right?
Absolutely.
And like, whatever these qualities are of God and everything, you're able to like truly reach out to it, and, like, you know, really, when you're able to like connect with them, and that's why we have the element of zikr, right? Like, say, like, we're sort of told to like repeat certain names or certain, like, you know, adkar, like while we're going through something like that, and that sort of like the translation of those words or those verses helps us during that times because they're meant for that, right? And those translations sort of relate or translate to like that certain worry we could be having. There's like people that read certain things for getting married, for like certain like financial problems they have,
that off.
every single thing. So you see all these mechanisms that are present in everything, and you could see another thing where the different names of Allah and everything, right? The 99 names, Jabbar, Razak, all these names. When you have a person named after one of these names, that quality, that translation of that name is sort of represented within their personality and within their character. That's something that you could reflect on, and like while talking to them, you're gonna be aware of that.
Because they have the name of the attribute of Allah.
Exactly. So that's
crazy, man.
100%. So like all these small things that we're not even aware of, because our consciousness is so limited. It's not able to be aware of all these things at once. So when we even find out about like one certain thing that just blows our mind, we're just like so
shocked.
Shocked. We have goosebumps, and we're like, oh wow, this thing's like exists out there and everything. So it's just amazing to have like these journeys, and like this is the biggest blessing we have, right? These mechanisms, and then you see like this is what our ancestors sacrifice everything for us to just be Muslims. Like they did not care about nationalities, their tribal values, whatever. Just for this religion to just be
continue on, continue future generations.
Exactly, the continuity of this is what matters the most, because then you're propagating this even more, and you're spreading this sort of like all the wisdoms, all these mechanisms and everything, things that you're not even aware of. But
I mean, if your kids turn out Muslims, if their kids turn out Muslims, you contributed.
Exactly, 100%.
You contributed to it.
100%. So that's one of my biggest worries too. Like if there's a time in the future, like that my kids or my progenies or my generations turn out to be non-Muslim, that's, I think I would lose out the most on that, right? Like I could lose out every single penny I have or anything like that, but if my generations are like myself, like I lose out on the blessing of Islam. That is the biggest thing, because then you lose out on all these generations of hope, of like different like God knows whatever, right? And then people were even going through the toughest times in their life and stuff like that. At the end of the day, God says that have hope, because He will do something. हम लोग बोलते हैं ना, Allah पे छोड़ दो. So like that's what it is, that Allah पे छोड़ दो. That at the end of the day, when everything else goes away, you have that mechanism of hope. Like you could lose out your families, entire people, like entire villages get washed away and everything.
Allah.
Exactly, you have God, and that's that mechanism of hope that never goes away. And say
you can't take that from a person either.
Exactly, and when you take it away, then you see all these, like say for example, you have an example of drug addicts or whatever, right? They're completely gone in like certain drugs and like certain mechanisms or other self-destructive mechanisms. They're addicted to zina or whatever, right? They never are able to have that mechanism of hope or even the mechanism of repentance to reach out to, because they're not even aware of it. They don't even recognize it, So when you lose out the religion, you lose out these mechanisms. When they have these destructive mechanisms appear in their lives, they don't know where to go. You feel me? So that's how you do your kids even like a disservice, So obviously that's something to ponder about.
Inshallah, we all work for the betterment of ourselves and the future and the bigger picture, obviously, because that's the main point. That's what we're here for, right?
100%.
Work towards a bigger goal that's bigger than us and the worldly things. Everybody needs money. Everybody needs to get a good car, a big house. But like, man, what are you leaving behind? Seriously.
100%.
Thanks for bringing that up. I never really thought of it.
Bro, I think about this.
I never thought of it like that. I'm leaving
every other day. I think about this because it's really so much. Like it's just these things, bro. The more aware of yourself, your surroundings, and how these models and mechanisms in your life work. The mechanism of religion, the mechanism of your education, everything. You just realize what roles these mechanisms play. Within your life, and what they do for the longer run or the betterment of future or the society or anything like that. So that is it for our episode of the SZ show. We're here with Malik Abdullah. He introduced himself, went through his reselling journey, went through his career goals, his iOS sort of framework he has right now, and basically his childhood as well, his immigration to the US. And inshallah, we're gonna have him again in the podcast in the future, with something specific, specific topic, and we're gonna be able to discuss that, inshallah, get into further depths of the topic. So thank you so much, guys, for listening, and Malik Abdullah.
Yeah, man. Thank you guys for listening to us. Be sure to leave a like and comment. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new.
Thanks a lot, guys. Take care.
Assalamu
Bye-bye. Walaikum assalam.